Here is a detailed report on major Ohio government actions and events for October 27, 2025, based on available information. Major government actions. Economic development announcements. On October 27, 2025, Governor Mike DeWine announced 12 economic development projects expected to create 1126 jobs and generate more than $2 in private investments across the state. The governor highlighted these initiatives as a significant boost to Ohio's economy, though the specific projects, locations, and companies involved were not detailed in the available sources. The announcement was made via official state media channels. Legislative activities. SNAP and emergency food assistance proposals. As concerns grow over a potential federal government shutdown and its impact on food assistance programs, Ohio State Representative Latina Humphrey D. Columbus has been actively urging Governor DeWine to take immediate steps to prevent disruptions to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, which serves 1.4 million Ohioans, as well as temporary assistance for needy families, TANF, and the Women, Infants, and Children, WIC, Program 124. Humphrey sent a letter to DeWine referencing Louisiana's allocation of state funds to maintain SNAP benefits during federal shutdowns, and called for similar emergency actions in Ohio. Her proposals include emergency appropriations through the controlling board, temporary transfers from agency budget reserves, partnerships with food banks and nonprofits, an emergency order to provide temporary relief until federal funding resumes. Humphrey also introduced House Bill 502, which would mandate continued state funding for SNAP, TANF, and WIC during federal funding lapses. However, as of October 27, the bill has not yet been scheduled for a hearing. The administration's response, through a DeWine spokesperson, was that Ohio does not have access to the SNAP benefit payment system and therefore cannot directly supplement SNAP accounts. The state's role is limited to verifying eligibility. Food banks and local response *. Ohio's food banks are reporting heightened demand, with the Akron Canton Regional Food Bank experiencing the highest demand since 2019 and a 10% increase in visits in Summit County compared to the same week in 2024. Local governments are stepping up, with Cuyahoga County allocating $20,000 for emergency food assistance. Some lawmakers have suggested tapping into the state's Rainy Day Fund, but this is considered unlikely given the federal control over SNAP disbursements. Legislative status. No new major bills were reported as passed or signed on October 27, 2025. House Bill 502 remains pending, and there is no indication of immediate legislative action beyond advocacy and proposals from individual lawmakers. Enforcement actions. Legal profession sanctions. On October 24, 2025, the Ohio Supreme Court's Commission on Continuing Legal Education issued disciplinary sanctions against 87 attorneys for non-compliance with continuing education requirements. Among these, 2 attorneys, Larry Ivan Madorsky and Aaron Alexander O'Brien, both of Cuyahoga County, were fined $300 each for failing to complete required education hours and for being out of compliance during previous reporting periods. 2 additional attorneys, Janelle Elise Thompson and Claire Elizabeth Murphy, both of Hamilton County, were suspended from the practice of law for not completing mandatory new lawyers training. These orders were publicly released on October 27, 2025, reflecting Ohio's ongoing enforcement of professional standards for attorneys. Public events. Governor's Economic Development Press Event. Governor DeWine held a public event to announce the 12 economic development projects, emphasizing job creation and investment as key priorities for his administration. Details on the format, location, and attendees were not specified in available sources. Hemp Product Regulation Update. While not directly dated to October 27, a Franklin County judge has extended a restraining order through at least December 2025, effectively pausing Governor DeWine's ban on so-called intoxicating hemp products. This judicial action keeps these products legal for sale in Ohio until further legislative or regulatory changes occur. This decision impacts the Ohio Department of Agriculture and other regulatory bodies involved in hemp oversight, though it is a judicial, rather than executive or legislative, action. Summary table. Action type details key officials agency's date. Economic development, 12 projects, 1126 jobs, 2B plus investment, announced Governor Mike DeWine 10/27, 2025. SNAP advocacy, Rep. Humphrey urges emergency funding. HB 502 introduced, not yet heard, Rep. Latina Humphrey, Governor ongoing. Food bank response, local food banks report increased demand. Cuyahoga Co. allocates $20,000 in emergency aid, local officials, non-profits ongoing. Attorney sanctions, 87 attorneys sanctioned. 2 fined, 2 suspended for CLE non-compliance. Ohio Supreme Court orders 10/24, release 10/27, 2025. Hemp regulation, restraining order extended. Intoxicating hemp sales remain legal, Franklin County Court ongoing. Additional notes. No major executive orders, new regulations, or cabinet-level policy changes were reported on October 27, 2025. No major public safety or law enforcement actions, unrelated to professional sanctions, were highlighted. Federal-state dynamics around SNAP funding remain a top concern, with state officials emphasizing procedural limitations to direct intervention 124. This report reflects the most consequential and verifiable state government actions in Ohio on October 27, 2025, based on current public records and media coverage.